Ready. We have been learning the Nefesh Hachaim Shaar Bet Parak Aleph, and Shaar Bet is about the inyanim of tefillah, how to daven, and to make it even clearer, Shaar Bet Parak Aleph is about b'chol levavchem, and the rest of Shaar Bet is about ub'chol nafshechem. Because the chiyuv of tefillah comes from the second parsha in Kriyas Shema v'hayom Shemaya, and there it says a chidush that it doesn't say in the parsha Rishona of Kriyas Shema. Hayom Shemaya Tishma Mitzvos Asher Anoiti Mitzvah Estem Hayom La'ahavos Hashem Elokeichem, which it already said Va'ahavtas Hashem Elokecha, but this is La'ahavos Hashem Elokeichem Ula Avdai, and there's a mitzvah to worship Him, to do avodah, and that should be B'chol Levavchem U'B'chol Nafshechem. And I pointed out, Pashat Pshat, is that the second parsha of creation is a very different thing. It's not at all a repetition. It's a very different thing than the first parsha of creation, a different mitzvah completely. First mitzvah of the parsha, the first parsha Rishona, is about the mitzvah of Avas Hashem. You have to love Hashem. And that has to be with everything you have. You have to love Hashem. Your life, your money, your life. You have to have Avas Hashem. You have to give up for Ahava. The second parsha of Kriyas Shema is not talking about what you have to give up at all. It's talking about what you have to do. And what you have to do, what do you do with that Ahava? What's the practical application of the Ahava? And the answer is, La'avdai b'chol levavchem u'b'chol nafshechem. You have to connect to Hashem, you have to do Avodas Hashem, not giving up, but you have to use your heart in Avodah, and you have to use your Nefesh in Avodah, and therefore you don't use your money in avodah. You could do mitzvahs with your money, but v'chol moedecha doesn't apply here. So la'avdai b'chol levavchem v'chol nafshechem. Again, Parak Aleph is the only parak in the Nefesh Hachaim where he talks about b'chol levavchem, and that's our sugya Sunday and today. From here on, we'll get to a different sugya of what does it mean to do avodas Hashem b'nefesh. Right now, what does it mean to do Avodas Hashem b'leiv? What's a leiv? What's a nefesh? We should know from Shaar Aleph what's the leiv, what's the nefesh. But I find, by the way, I got that probably one of the words that appear most in Tanakh, in Tefillah, in learning is leiv. Like leiv, Rachmana liba boy. And there's like some kind of a Maisa Satan that as much as we talk about leiv, nobody even knows what the leiv is. Obviously not my cardiac organ. Like what is the leiv? La'avdai b'chol levavchem. What is the heart? We feel like it's the seat of emotion. Might be something different than that. What is the heart?
The Chovos HaLevavos definitely wasn't the seat of emotion.
Chovos HaLevavos.
It wasn't the seat of emotion. It was the seat of the intellect.
Right. It's right. The chidush. The chidush of Chovos HaLevavos, the chidush of the book Chovos HaLevavos, is that there's such a thing as a doctrine, which is called the leiv, a cognitive. Yeah. How are you supposed to think? So that's not the leiv as we refer to it. What do you say, Eli? What's a leiv? You're a psychologist, that's what I'm asking.
the source of everything else.
From the lave to the rosh, you say?
Yeah. The rosh can't do anything without the blood source. It's the source of energy.
You know, it's interesting. I'm not sure what that means, but I think you're right because the lashon of Chazal is that the lave is the mishkan of the moach. Like the Aron Kodesh is the mishkan of the Sefer Torah, the lave is the mishkan. So that seems to be the seat, the beginning. So,
which one does Chazal mean when they use lave? What does the Torah mean when the Torah uses the word lave? Is it emotions and black, both of them together?
When Chazal say lave,
when the Torah says well,
that's exactly what I'm asking.
It could be both.
I don't know that it's exactly what I'm answering, but maybe b'meshach hadvarim, it'll be clear. But I do want to point out that it's not so simple. You know, like I love you with all my heart. It's not so simple. But it would sound pretty funny if, like, you'd wake up in the morning and say to your wife, "I love you with all my brain."
We have.
Good luck.
Don't try this at home.
Well, in the pasuk on we say in Aleinu, "V'yadata yom Moshe el levavach."
Whole tshuva.
What's the idea? If you have the idea, Moshe el levavach. It means two separate things.
Yes, closely connected. Yes,
connected but different.
Data hayoim yediyah v'hashevoisel levavecha. Let's do this. I don't know that I'm qualified to even answer my own question, but let's just do this exercise, just like through the next 24 hours. Every time you see the word lave, just think, what does it mean to that pasuk? There's a lesson over there. Not pasuk zedecha. We find always the lave. Okay, Rahman Aliba boy. Rahman Aliba boy.
So the difference between saying I love you with all my brain, love you with my heart, right? In what you said, if you had to, when you love someone with your brain, or when you're dealing with your brain, you're making analytical decisions all the time. Should I say something nice to you now? You know, should I
right.
do something for you? Because if I do, then you'll give me something back, or then you'll feel.
It's a cheshbon.
It's a cheshbon.
The lave is a decision. I made a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Now I go with it.
Right. It's just almost. It's intuitive. Rabbi Salanter gives this famous mashal, and he talks about famous mashal where he says that a person, say you're a Rabbi and you have a Talmud who you love dearly. He's your favorite Talmud. He takes everything that you teach and he applies it and he learns it and he's close to you and he helps you and he's mishamash you. And you have a son that's wayward, and you don't have anything to do with your son. So Rabbi Salanter, the Or Yisrael, posits famously that if one would wake up in the middle of the night and the house would be burning down, God forbid, one would run to save their son and not run to save their Talmud, because one is belev and one is b'seichel. Don't try that at home either. It's interesting. So it's very important for us to understand this, because we're now trying to understand what does it mean? Ula'avdoi b'chol levavchem. That's what the parak aleph of Nefesh Hachaim is. B'chol levavchem. Chol nafshechem might be more complicated, but let's at least get the b'chol levavchem today. So the Nefesh Hachaim. Please take a look inside. Shaar Bet, parak aleph, the third paragraph. Hinei v'shekoseh b'chol levavchem al inyan hatzfilah. Who pashut umavur. Kavanas hakasav lebeis inyanim. He's going to give us two things that the Torah means when it says b'chol levavchem. Ha'echad hainu lefanois libay mitirdas hamachshavos. how do you daven? Again, question on the table is, how do you daven with your whole heart? How do you love somebody with your whole heart? That's another interesting question. That might be the outcome of this. But how do you daven with your whole heart? So there's two things, he says. This, I believe, is translating more the word bachol than it is levavcha. Meaning you get rid of every other inyan of that's in your heart right now. Chol levavchem.
So tirdas are in the heart.
Right. So tirdas are in the heart. Very well. Well said. Meaning, so I'm standing up to daven, and I'm thinking, okay, Hashem Baruch Atah Hashem. I wonder how the stock market is doing today. Baruch Atah Hashem. I have a headache. Baruch Atah Hashem. I just had an argument with my wife. Baruch Atah. So it's not that you're not having kavanah when you're saying Baruch Atah Hashem. Maybe you are. A person could have many kavanas at one time. You drink a cup of coffee, so you're having a cup of coffee. You like the taste, that's one kavanah. You want to be stimulated, that's another kavanah. You want to be social with the person you're drinking with, that's the third kavanah. You want to taste the coffee, it's the fourth kavanah. There could be a lot of kavanahs for drinking a cup of coffee, but then you're not drinking a cup of coffee, b'chol levavchem. So the la'avdoi b'chol levavchem means that I'm mifaneh all the other things that are going on in my heart, I push them away to make a halal for the inyan of tefillah. Everything else goes away. This is the Hasidim Rishonim that meditated to do this for Shah Lifnei HaTefillah. They meditated to clean out the heart. Pinui is when you take away that which is there, like pinui atzamais min hakever. You're cleaning something out, making space. So the first aspect of b'chol levavchem, and again, I believe he's translating b'chol. If you're thinking about Hashem and something else, it's right away not b'chol levavchem perforce. So echad haynu lefanois liboy mitirdois hamachshavos ulahatoisa, and to target ela kavana hashlema l'tevois hatfila. My whole exercise here, my whole kavana. This is the translation of kavana. By the way, whenever it says kavana, interestingly, it says kavanas halev. You would think that it was kavanas harosh. You would think that if you're being mitmaked, if you're being mechavein to something, focusing, directing, aiming, you're doing that with your mind. You would think that would be a cerebral task. I would have thought kavanas halev. It might be cerebral because we don't know yet what lave means, but whatever it is, kavana is in the lave. Kavana halev. I'm having kavana and davening. So apparently, it might not be enough to just understand what you're reading. That's elementary, by the way. If you don't know what you're reading, that's a little silly. But I mean, just read what you're reading. I mean, there might be some mila to just saying words, but not anywhere near understanding the words you say, obviously.
So why maybe kavana means direction.
Keep on.
Direction. So it's not. It's different from the meaning, in a way.
Well, look what he says. La'atoisa ela kavana hashlema l'tevois hatfila. Where do the words come in? What does it have to do with the words? This is like I'm standing in front of Hashem. Seems like to be a spiritual state, but kavana somehow gets into the tevas hatfila b'leiv of shalom umi umka deliba. So I'm going to the omek of my leiv and I'm having kavana. But the first step is, again, let's not lose ourselves. The first step is I'm pushing everything else away. So as Rabbi Yitzchak wisely says, that means that if I have a tirda, how would you translate? I'm worried about something. Yeah? If I'm worried about something, that's a lave thing, to be worried about something. You don't worry about a math problem. Like, not worried about a scientific problem. You don't worry. Worrying is something which is hurting me. It's something in my life. But again, it's not necessarily emotional. One second. K'maimarim zal b'braisa, and this is what the braisa means when it says in Brachos Lamed Aleph, hamispalel tzarech shechaven as liboy lashamayim, shenamar tachin libam. We find a lot of the halachas of tefillah originate with Chana. That's how we know we're supposed to say the words. We're supposed to move our lips when we daven. Learn it all from Chana. But Chana, what does it say there in the pasuk? Chana midaberes al liba. Why al liba?
Al levavecha. Why would we say with Rabbi Shema? You should be saying b'toch.
Im levavecha.
Yeah, not al levavecha.
Good question. But from there, the Gemara says, "L'mispal tzur sheichavin liboy." U'k'mashkas of David HaMelech. You have to appreciate that the Nefesh Hachaim doesn't say something which might even seem simple without bringing 3 or 4 rayas from all over Kohatar. Everything is thought through. Mashkas of David HaMelech in Tehillim, B'chol libi dirashticha, I seek you with my whole heart. Again, chol lev. Ubezoyar, and the Zohar says, "Koman de matzli tzlusa kamimalka kadisha." Anyone who prays a prayer before the Holy King, boy lemive beusei uletzala miumka deliba. He has to ask his askings uletzala and to supplicate miumka deliba from the depth of his heart, begins so much so that your heart is complete, shalem, meaning I have shlemus here. I have nothing else going on in my heart. So step 1, push everything else away. Step 1 is no easy step. Now I want to point something out here which is extremely important. Liba Ura'usa, I'm mechaving my lave, and my ratzon, Ra'usa. Ba'alma divra kirusei, bi'amlich malchusei. Ra'usa in Aramaic is ratzon. Okay, so I could possibly understand how I should daven with my whole heart. I have nothing there but what I'm doing right now. What does it mean to daven with my whole ratzon? What does it mean? Davening with my ratzon. This is the bichavin liba urausa. Look. Now, I believe what I like to develop for the next couple of minutes is that if you want to know what's going on inside of your lave, you see from the Zohar and many, many other places that it's all about what do you want? What's your ratzon? It's the pa'ula of the Rosh is to think. The pa'ula of the lave, or the poel yotze of the lave, is to be rotzeh, to have ratzon. I could think something is right. I don't want it. Don't want it. A person knows they need a surgery. I don't want it. Do I want to go under the knife? So there's a possibility to have rosh without having lave. But lave, if you're doing something with lave, the indicator, the symptom of doing something with lave is your ratzon. So says the Zohar, begin to yishtakech libe shlim, you have to find your heart being shalem, b'kudsha brichu, v'yechaven liba urausa. The Zohar that he quotes, I looked up inside. Zohar is darshaning the pasuk of Shir Hamalois, Mimamakim Krosicha Hashem. I think I brought it here. Mimamakim krasicha Hashem. I'm calling to you, Hashem, from the depths. The depths of my heart, meaning the Zohar explains that there's an outside part of my heart, and then there's an inside part of my heart. So now let's switch from with my whole heart to my deepest heart, which might be synonymous with my deepest desire, my deepest ratzon. The Zohar says as follows. This is in Parshas Pikudei. This is actually it's actually not the Zohar he brings, but in that
From Bishalach.
Bishalach. So I looked up the one in Bishalach, and the Masek Mitvash. He said, "Look what I said in Parshas Pikudei." And he says here. Rosen, I don't want to read too much here. There's we're looking for an ace ratzon of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Right, we're familiar. Yehi ratzon milfanecha. We're asking that it should be an ace ratzon. It means Hashem's ratzon. So, in other words, we're waiting for Hashem to be in a good mood before we ask. So it should be an ace ratzon. So what's an ace ratzon? What is the omek of ace ratzon? So he explains here. Tarin elu leikaiman legala. There are sha'arim. Tarin min shar. There are gates in Shamayim which tend not to always be open. Like nitnu legaloisam, they're not always open. Mipnei shesharish harat. I'm reading from the Refresh. Mipnei shesharish haratzin hu bekeser hanelam. If we understand the ratzon Hashem, now we're not talking about our ratzon, ratzon of Hashem, or if you will, the heart of Hashem. The ratzon of Hashem is in a very, very hidden place. It's very difficult to understand how could tragedy or crisis be the Ratzon Hashem. The Ratzon Hashem is in a very hidden place. So we need to humble ourselves to that. That's the essence of being a religious Jew. Humble yourself to the Ratzon Hashem, which is Bekeser Nelam. We say it even in the Zmiris of Shabbos. Lachain ein shari heichel zen niftachim ele biskabrus Ratzon Aliyah. There's no way to activate and to open the ratzon of Hashem, elabiskabrus ratzon alien. It's a huge effort to find an ace ratzon, to be able to elakantarnis patchu. Listen to this. But when those gates open, kidein yadin kulan hechalim. At that point, all of the different hechalis. There are many hechalos in Shamayim. There's places where malachim are. There's places where different kinds of malachim are. There's mazalos underneath them. There's all. Hashem made a structure which is extremely sophisticated and extremely intricate. It's a very intricate system in Shamayim, and there's a lot of layers to this. But when the gates of Ratzon are open. Kidein yadin kula heichan, then oz yoidin kol heichalos mitzada ora meir lehem. This sort of a light shines through v'cholin and ruchin, and all of those ruchais, v'cholin and mishayrim. Translation: Chol machanois hamalachim hamishtalshelim b'hem. All the malachim in the Shamayim, all the marachais of the Shamayim, all the astrological features of Shamayim, the whole sophisticated under the hood system that HaKadosh Baruch Hu set up in Shamayim, which I have no idea of. Maybe Big Mekubalim know this, I don't know. But apparently there's a whole marechet going on in Shamayim. All of them, Cholin and Mishayim, the Hatari, the Ratzon Ishpatchu, they're all in awe of the fact that the Sharei Ratzain, which is the highest one and the deepest one and the most hidden one, just opened up. Imagine for a moment of, let's do a meditation together. A light comes from this Sharei Ratzain, opens up and breaks through every single different marechet and every single system that's in place in the whole Shemayim. The gates of Ratzain have opened. I'm reading the translation. Kol hasharim haniftachim me'atika kadisha lezeranpin umimenu lemalchus, all the way down to the malchus, which is here. Misham ad hechel hazeh, right down to this world. Az Ratzain HaKadosh Baruch Hu lahativ libriyosav miskala bo'elam. And at that moment, you can see the toiv. You can see the toiv. This is not delving into Auschwitz and trying to figure out where's the toiv. That's nelam. It's nelam. Nobody should even try to understand that. It's a waste of time. It would be to say that I understand God. It's a wrong thing to do. But sometimes it's nice, right? Sometimes if it's an ace rotzai, you can actually see the bracha right in front of your eyes. It's raining. You know, you're looking, if we're zochah to rain and you look at the drops of rain, every drop is a drop of bracha, ace rotzai. Every drop. V'lo olin ba'alin tarin elaruya ditzlusan. Here's the clincher. There's no way to access and to activate the Ratzain of Hashem, which is in the deepest place, unless you're davening b'Ratzain. Raiva de Shavcha, somebody who, Raiva means you're Mishabeach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with Ratzain, the Ravid and Nishmas and Kaddish and Eloyin, anybody who has the right Ratzain in their heart, which is the deepest place of your heart, can open up the deepest place of Shemayim. Well, let's go over that because this is an extremely big chiddush. That what we ultimately want is Eis Ratzain. So let's lose the idea of God being in a good mood and a bad mood. That's human. Let's talk about things that are hidden and things that are galoi, things that just have to be for the sake of the big marechet and all that, the sense of history, and let's talk about an Eis Ratzain where there is deep in the Shemayim somewhere, there is the Ratzain Hashem, which is beautiful. We don't understand that necessarily while we're alive in this world. Moshe Rabbeinu said he wants to understand it, he couldn't get it. Let me see. Couldn't understand it. As long as you're alive, you're not going to see that. However, there are some times where you can see bracha. Watch a healthy baby being born, you've seen a bracha. You have a bracha in your hand. Watch the rain come down, you see a bracha. How do you activate the deepest part of the Shemayim, the Ratzain? By activating the deepest part of yourself, which is your heart. The Ratzain of your heart.
Is this the same as the Mishnah?
Yes. We'll get there. So, an important aside. We still don't know how to do it, but it's worth trying to understand. By activating our Ratzon, we're activating the Ratzain Hashem.
It's also the Tevot Tefillah, that's the key in order to open it. No, it's not just
The what? I'm sorry.
the word, the Tevot HaTefillah.
Oh, why Tevos HaTefillah?
That's the Maftech.
Nice, well said. Why do you need the Tevos HaTefillah? So again, Tevos HaTefillah. Tevos HaTefillah are, you're saying good, because a key has no value per se. Right? 3 shekel. What's a key? It's what's inside. It's right. Maftechos hachitzaydius, maftechos hapnimius. Tevos HaTefillah, somehow the Anshe Knesset Hagdolah were B'Shayer that the Tevos HaTefillah are the key to what? The key to the Ratzain Ha'elyon? Or the key to the Ratzain of the Leiv? Or is that all the same thing? Hainuhach. Another Zohar that we all know by heart. Yehi Rava Kadamach Desire Yehi Rava Kadamach. Yehi Rava is the exact quote.
The one that we know.
Unless we're going to sing it together.
You'll almost look like it.
Yehi Rava Kadamach Desiftach Libai Bayraisa. Esashlim Mishalin de Libai. Liba dechol amach Yisrael. Latav l'chaim v'lishlam. Let's touch. Yehi Rava Kadamach. May it be your
Will.
Ratzai. That what? Desiftach Libai Bayraisa. That my heart should be opened up.
But you should open my heart.
The siftach liboy, help me, let my heart be open. And therefore, v'sashlim, there'll be a shlemus, mishalin de liboy, the needs and the requests of my own heart. Beliba d'chol amach Yisrael, and what will that be? Latav l'chaim. It'll be toiv. It'll be l'chaim. It'll be shalom. Beautiful. What are we asking here? What's the structure of this bakasha? What does it mean? It means that what we're stating here, which is also Zohar in Parshas Vayakel, just a few pages before this one, the Zohar is saying that we know the secret. We know the secret. Nobody knows the secret, but we know the secret. The secret is that I know that I need to open up my own heart and my own Ratzon in order to be able to open up the Ratzon Hashem. Consider the Ratzon Hashem a hidden closet in the Shemayim, which nobody gets to see. And we know that once that Ratzon is opened up in the Shemayim, everything is moved, pushed away, all the Malachim, all the Marachos. Ein Mazal li Yisrael, ein Malachim li Yisrael, nothing makes a difference. Ratzon, light comes straight through, laser. So it has to start with my lay. So here we have a chap, like the chap is, Rebbeinu Shalom, open up my heart.
Hashem Svasai Tifta.
Right, Hashem Svasai Tifta. Open up my heart deeper. Open up my heart, because if you open up my heart, then I can start a circuit which will be Latav u'Lachayim v'Lishlam. It'll come out with Toiva, it'll come out with Chaim, it'll come out with Shalom, meaning help me open up my heart, because my heart, the key is here, the key is not there. And how does that work out? As you say very well, the Tevos HaTefillah. So somehow none of this, by the way, I'm telling the truth, none of this do I understand. How are the Tevos HaTefillah, the keys? What does it even mean to open up the Ratzon of my heart? What does it mean to daven with Ratzon? That needs to be explained. And I certainly don't understand what all of this stuff is going on in Shemayim. But if I had to put it on a whiteboard, I would be able to write down now how the whole mechanism works. So there's a biology 101 is how the whole system works. So the system works that there's the Leiv, Hashem Kivyachol, which is, let's call Leiv synonymous with Ratzon. That Ratzon, Eis Ratzon, Hiratzon Milfanecha, that should be an Eis Ratzon. That Eis Ratzon Milfanecha can zap through everything. When can it zap through everything? When it's activated? Because it's so deep, it has to be activated by something within me, which is so deep. So it's so interesting that I've got the keys. This is an amazing thing. We've got the keys. And not only that, we even know how to get it into the lock. Tevos HaTefillah. So we have the key. Everybody wants to say something. Let me just. I get mixed up easily. What's the you see? So there's this. What I want to bring out here is that, mathematically speaking, there's a circle. That's why I said a circuit. Like, think about an electrical circuit. The circuit is not closed in the Shemayim. The circuit of Ratzon is like a Ratzon to Latav L'chaim V'Lishlam, back to Ratzon, and everything's going around in a circle. So what are we doing when we're davening? When we're standing B'chol Levavchem, and this Nefesh Hachaim brings the Zohar, B'chol Levavchem requires us to, you cannot even begin to do this unless it's B'chol, unless you take away all the distractions. That's the first thing. That's a sur meirah, let's say. That's just cleaning, house cleaning of the heart. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes work, very, very noble thing. But then what? Now you have to daven. And this is why I mentioned last time that the meditation process is not yet davening. It's just a hachana for davening. It's a hachana for davening. I don't know anybody can do it. Ala makom. It says, I think to myself that if the Hasidim Rishonim took them a shah to concentrate Lifnei Tefillah, how long does it take us? Or is it just we don't bother?
Did they use the nusach of Chazal and Shmon Esrei?
Absolutely. Shah achas, they were mechanis libam. Shah achas mispalel, that's benusach hatfilah.
But they had the Matechas?
Something like us, yeah. Certainly had the Kriya Shema, and certainly had the Anshek Nasagdol, Hasidim Rishonim. I once tried to figure out who were the Hasidim Rishonim. Who were the Hasidim Rishonim? Hasidim Rishonim refers to Amoraim, according to most Shitas. So they times at Amoraim, they were trying to access Chazal. So they were mispal Sha'achas, and then closed it up again, which is interesting. We didn't even get to that. The Sha'achas, they came back down to earth. But there's this moment of circuitry where if my heart is not involved, if nobody's heart is involved, maybe the 36 tzaddikim, for their hearts to be involved, but somebody's heart's got to be involved here to close the circuit. And when I close the circuit, I can create an Eis Ratzon. And that's how the whole thing works. Now, that being said, Yeh Rava Kadamach, so where the tefillah is Ois Ketzeichen, Yeh Rava Kadamach, the Sivsach Libai, by Raisa. Let's first talk about my lay. We don't go anywhere without the lay. And then V'shash L'Mishal Libai V'Liba D'Chol HaMoch Yisrael L'Tav V'L'Chaim V'L'Shalom. That's what we're looking for. The Mishnah, which says in Pirkei Avos, came to Yitzchak's mind, or we share a mind here. Hu haya aimer refers to Rabbi Gamliel. Hu haya aimer asay ritzaynoi hirtzaynach kidei sheyaseh ritzaynach hirtzaynoi. When he's learning Pirkei Avos, it's too complicated as we go further. It's like literally circular reasoning in a good way. Let's just learn the pshat. Asay, let's say you're davening. Asay ritzaynai, who's ratzayn? Shem's ratzayn. Kirtzaynach, make that your ratzayn. And therefore, what will happen? Kidei sheyaseh ritzaynach, so that your ratzon will be his ratzon. Anybody know what it means? What's it mean? Rashi. The Rashi here. Hu haya aimer, so Rashi, Rabbi Gamliel. Asay ritzayncha kirtzaynai. Afilu, Rashi, shafilu kishata oiseh cheftzecha tasa l'shem shomayim. You're doing your own things. I'm working, I'm eating, I'm sleeping, I'm doing my own things, right? Du l'shem shomayim, that's what he says it means. Asay ritzayncha kirtzaynai. Kedei she'aseh ritzayncha kirtzaynai v'yiten lacha toiv ba'ayin yafer. Further, uvatel ritzaynach mipnei ritzaynai. Be mavatel your ratzayn to his ratzayn. Kedei, look what happens now. She'yivatel ritzaynach herim mipnei ritzaynach. So that your ratzon will win out in an argument between friends. You'll get your way. It really refers to the enemies of Israel. That there's
Maybe it's the stray thoughts.
There's a what?
Maybe it's just talking about one's stray thoughts.
The Eitzah Rashi says, Shivato Ritzon Acherim Hakomim Alecha. There are people trying to hurt me. I could shoot him. Or I can get involved in this circle of Ritzayn Cha, Ritzayn Hai, Ritzayn Cha, Ritzayn Hai, Ritzayn Hai, Ritzayn Cha. And what will happen? His Ratzon, the enemy's Ratzon, will become batal because we'll have L'tav L'chaim V'Lishlam. You see? Meaning, once it's an Eis Ratzon, how do you create? Like, here's what we're talking about. The question on the table is, how do you create this wonderful Eis Ratzon that the Zayar is speaking about? Yeh Rava Kadamach, it should be an Eis Ratzon. And if you have an Eis, how do you create the Eis Ratzon? So the answer is, the Zayar tells us, well, go to the deepest place in your life, because if you are, the Zayar says before, If you're going b'davar roy, if I'm just being shallow in my tefillah, so you're only accessing a circle of an external circle. If you go from a deep place in your life, now you're accessing a deeper circle. You're just simply on a higher level. You're on a deeper level. So what's the secret here? The secret is as follows, as I understand it. The secret we say in Shemoneh Esrei every day, and I often point out it's probably to me it's the most important part of Shemoneh Esrei. We daven the whole Shemoneh Esrei. Give us Rafa'enu, give us Birchas Hashanim, give us Geshem, etc. Everything. 19 things. And then we say, we throw this thing in at the end of Shemoneh Esrei, and we say, okay, God, Aseh Laman Kedushasecha, Aseh Laman Shemecha, Aseh Laman Shchinasecha, Aseh Laman Teirasecha, whatever your nusach is. Kashti, Kedusha, Shechina, Torah, Yeminecha, which means the Shechina, different things. If I was asking all of this because that's what I need, then becomes a din. Do you deserve it? Do you not deserve it? Is it an Eis Ratzon? Is that the right thing right now? However, if I do it because it's your Ratzon, look at it this way. Hashem wants the world to work. He wants the world to. He wants us to be happy. He wants the world to work. The world's supposed to work. If the world is broken, if the system seems broken, so it needs to be fixed. So what has to be fixed? What's fixed is that what we have to do now is we have to get involved in the circle with our own life and open up the Ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'Tov, and then it'll be l'Tav l'Chaim v'l'Shlam coming down. So the secret is, don't daven for yourself, daven for Hashem. Now that sounds so, ridiculous. It sounds. What does it mean to daven for Hashem? It means you want the world to work. Do you want Eretz Yisrael to have peiros? Let there be rain. Do you want me to build or to be able to support yeshivas and batei knesios? So let there be money. Do you want me to be Mekayim Puravu? Give me a wife. V'chulu v'chulu. So there's an aspect here of, it's not davening for Hashem, it's understanding, a simple understanding of what are we here for. So if it's a selfish tefillah, it's perforce a superficial tefillah. Because the superficial tefillah is, I'm hungry, give me food. Yafet. I'm sure Hashem listens, right? Gives food to the hungry, feeds the hungry. But if the tefillah is that you want the world to work, you're just waiting for me. Lama avosenu hayu akaros. Why was it so difficult for Avraham, Yitzchak? Why was it so difficult to have children, have wives? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu misaveh l'tfilasim shel tzadikim. Or you have at the beginning of Bereshis that Hashem didn't make it rain. Terem yimtar al ha'aretz. Terem yimtar al ha'aretz. Rashi is waiting for somebody to daven. It's like, you daven, I'll give you rain. In other words, there was no rain until man was born because there was nobody to daven. That's what Rashi says at the beginning of the Torah. Why? Because it doesn't work. There's no keli. There's no keli to activate the Ratzon Hashem to make it come down. So what we need to do is look at ourselves and our own Ratzon as the activator. We've got a switch down here, and this switch can activate an entire circle, which can bring all the wonderful brachos into our life. So the answer, I think, in Shemoneh Esrei is Aseh Laman Shemecha. If you don't want to give me a refuah for your sake, for my sake, give me a refuah for your sake, because for your sake, I'll do something with this refuah. Give me parnasa if you don't want to do it for my sake, if I don't deserve it. Okay, but I'll do it. Give me the parnasa for your sake. So the minute I'm taking myself out, and that's what I believe is the meaning of yifna or yipana as liboy. Take all your tirdos out and put HaKadosh Baruch Hu's tirdos in. I'm saying a chiddush now. It's not just like I need to be able to concentrate, meditate. No, I'm taking myself out. My tirdos are myself. Tirdos are in the rotzin. Tirdos are in the lave. I'm taking myself out of my lave, and I'm putting you in my lave, and it comes out the same thing anyways. Anyways, I need money. Anyways, I need refuah. Anyways, I need to be able to have the bracha. So it's the same tefillah, but with a completely different kavana, with a deep kavana, a deep kavana instead of a superficial kavana. So if you want the deep kavana, says the Zohar, so what you have to do is come from a deep place. If you want the deep part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and this is the secret to all success, by the way. You heard it here. The secret to all success, financially, health, everything, is to daven for Hashem's sake. Asay leman shemecha. Asay leman shemecha.
Say it at the beginning. We should say it at the beginning.
Say it at the beginning. It's like you bring all your tefillahs and then unlock it. B'tevas ha-tefillah. Eli, the whole Yomim Neroim is imloy lemanenu leman chafal. If who is deserving? Who is deserving? Even the avos daven this way. You can't be deserving, because you're not deserving unless you understand your tachlis in the world. Your tachlis in the world is to accomplish something. Everybody's something else. I'm not saying that it has to be lofty. If somebody is schlepping the water from one place to the other, that's his purpose in the world, because it's her hate. But give me the koach so I can bring water to people. That's the point. Like it's a fact. It's probably much easier to be for a plumber to be mechaven l'shem shamayim than a rabbi, because there's no covenant. There's no great covenant being a rabbi either. But at least I don't have to be stooped in under the sink there, or in the toilet. So it's whatever you do. It's silly to be machalik, because everybody's supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's silly to be machalik, but everybody has their avodah. But the point is, it should be b'chol halev, and b'chol halev means that my b'chol haratzain. How could it be b'chol haratzain? Very simple. Asay ritzaynai kirtzaynach. That's what it means. That's what the Mishnah means. Asay ritzaynai kirtzaynach. I'm doing it. This is your ratzain. Isn't it? Isn't it your ratzain that I should have parnasa, so that I can give tzedakah, so that I can be mefarnes my family, so that I can daven without having to worry about money? Isn't that your ratzain? So I say ritzaynach kirtzaynach. Kedei sheyas, automatically it'll work out. Shasa ritzaynach kirtzaynai, meaning merge and close the circuit between your ratzon and his ratzon. And then what will happen? Yivatel ritzaynach cherim mipnei ritzaynacha. What is this Roman doing in here? You're not part of my circle. You're not part of the shefa of toiv. You're not part of the ratzin ha'elyon, which is not part of my ratzin. This circuit is closed. This is closed circuit prayer, and by doing this, yivatel ritzayna acher mipnei ritzayna chad. Okay, I'm talking more about.
Why is the Rav